Long ball number one here on Friday's edition of Morning Kickaround. I'm Robert, in for Jason. He's Brooks Lambeer. We saw an exciting third round of Open Cup action. The fourth round draw is in the books, and we'll talk about some exciting USL versus Major League Soccer matchups. But before we move on too far, I wanted to highlight that it was another great midweek of soccer here domestically. I'll go with you. Before we talk about that fourth round draw, what was your top moment from the third round of the Open Cup this week?
Well, a lot of them for me, I think, were the lower division teams. You know, Tacoma with the upset against Oakland Roots, a lot of the USL League One teams being extremely competitive against the championship side. So it's nice to see we have some lower division opponents moving on into the fourth round and playing some of the MLS sides and other championship teams. So the big one for me, I'd say the two, as Union Omaha beating San Antonio. I mean, San Antonio is a good side in USL Championship, very tough opponent to beat. And Naples taking Florida rival, you can say, Tampa Bay Rowdies into PKs and just losing on PKs. So those are my two that I note.
Yeah, USL League One teams. There was a little bit of, I think the gas and the juice of this round was those new teams. There was palpable excitement. You look at the games, AV, Alta, great crowd out there.
Yep.
And Naples, wow, that environment, the West Florida derby, Naples versus was it Tampa Bay? That was great stuff. That tiny little bleacher grandstand behind the goal there where they were taking the penalty shootout at the end of the match was, I don't know how many more people they could pack into like the smallest pop-up bleachers, but that was a cool sight. And then here in Detroit, I went out to Keyworth Stadium for Detroit City FC taking on Westchester. And just like Naples and AV Alta, Westchester SC was playing their like sixth ever game as a team in general, and there was some palpable excitement there. And for these USL League One teams, there was some very raw enthusiasm, and I was sitting back and it felt like we were at the beginning of it definitely felt like this is the groundworks for bigger and more denser American soccer pyramid. Just so much like filling in the holes, and just a new start definitely seemed like it was in the air. I do want to bring up a video. I did run into the owner of Westchester SC at Keyworth just ahead of kickoff. I think you might even be able to hear the kickoff whistle. The owner, Mitch Barukowitz, I ran into him. I saw a gentleman with a Westchester SC scarf on, and I was like, no way, are you a traveling fan for Westchester? I was going to give him huge kudos for coming out for like the sixth ever game for his team, but it was the owner, and we did kind of a walk and talk, a fun interview. But I really wanted to show this just because the kind of the raw enthusiasm of this gentleman, Mr. Barukowitz, to be in Detroit and see his team on the field. If we could pull that up. Morning kick around out of the basement at the game. I've run into Westchester SC owner Mitch Barukowitz. This is about your sixth game on the field.
Yeah, it feels like more, but yeah.
So, you're out in Detroit for Open Cup. What does this mean to play an established team at the lower league level here?
It's amazing. It feels like we're really part of the USL now. We're part of the American soccer pyramid. To see an established team like Detroit, great win last week, by the way, congratulations. We'll play you again this year. Maybe we'll do a better setup, but it means a lot. This is a big, intense game. This is like why we do this. And 6 games in to have a chance to maybe play an MLS team, it's a kind of huge opportunity.
Do you have any favorite U.S. Open Cup moments in your own history?
I think last year was pretty amazing watching the 11s run. I watched a bunch of games. I really wasn't watching it that much back in the day, but it used to be amateur teams. So yeah, there's a few amateur moments, like the Pan Cyprians win, I think in 2003-ish, I think, was pretty big in New York soccer. But that's going back.
One last question. I'm sure you want to watch this game.
Yeah, I do.
With the announcement of Pro Rel, what does that mean for you being a League One side coming to see Detroit?
Well, we joined the league thinking that this could happen. It's a monster moment. I think Pro Rel is going to be the greatest thing that's happened to U.S. soccer. I think it's going to really change the way people think about soccer, the way they think of the pyramid, the way they think of MLS and corporate. So I think it's going to change a lot.
Good luck. Thank you so much for taking a moment. Morning kick.
Detroit, go Westchester!
There you have it.
We're on TV, man. We're on TV. Oh, we're trying to...
Sorry. Big thanks to Westchester SC owner Mitch Barukowitz. He gave me his card, so we'll have to get him in for something more formal. But palpable excitement from the owner of his team. Yes. He's in Open Cup. I mean, obviously the game didn't go their way. It was tight the whole way. I thought that DCSC versus Westchester game was going to go 0-0, but it ended up becoming a 3-1 win for Detroit City FC. So with that, we'll move forward into the round of 32. Select Major League Soccer teams are coming into the fray. Locally, Detroit City FC, with that win, they are going to make the trip to Chicago to play the Fire in the first week of May. The round of 32 games for the Open Cup being played between the 6th and the 7th of May. With the draw happening yesterday, Brooks, did you kind of find any? There's a lot of USL versus MLS matchups here. Unfortunately, like I said, we would hope that the lower seeded teams, the lower league teams would get to host. Yeah. That's not the case. But is there any, other than the DCFC going to Chicago, what are some of the matchups that kind of tickle your fancy there?
Yeah, I mean, again, just to your point, it's a little rough because you have to have so much money to host. You know, that's a little rough. I think US Open Cup needs to change that a little bit. But some of the tasty matches for me, Rhode Island and New England. I mean, there's a rivalry over there, you know, just being in the Northeast with people from Rhode Island probably not liking people from Massachusetts and vice versa. It's funny. It's not the Sounders this year to meet the Timbers. It's Tacoma Defiance. And the Timbers don't want to lose that one to the MLS Next Pro team, the second team for Seattle. Interesting one, Nashville and Chattanooga Red Wolves. Listen, it's same state. You know, you go into Nashville, you play a respectable match, you earn some, points on that one. In terms of like if you can be quality in the game and you can make it competitive, I think that's super important. And then, NCFC, North Carolina FC playing Charlotte. I mean, that's another good in-state match we have going on here. So this is the beauty of the Open Cup. You get those matches within the Open Cup that you don't see in the normal regular season. And this is the beauty of, Pro Rel coming to the USL is you may see more, interstate matchups that you would never really see. So this is the beauty of Open Cup, and there may be some cup sets ahead. You never know.
In the chat, Chicano 916, I was going to point this out, but you beat me to it. Sacramento Republic drawing San Jose Earthquakes in the next round is an exciting matchup. And we are going to talk more about California soccer, just the plethora of California pro teams. Now, that's an exciting game to keep an eye on. I'm excited. There's another Florida derby with the Rowdies taking on another Florida-based team with Orlando City entering the fray there. I think if Tampa Bay Rowdies progress from there, they could kind of put like a shooting gallery list, like shooting down all the different California or the Florida-based teams on their journey. And then you already highlighted it, but Rhode Island versus New England, could be an exciting matchup. And then New England actually traveling to Rhode Island. So Rhode Island in just their second season, they went to a USL League One final in their first ever year. And then so in the second season for them, they get to host a Major League Soccer team. So these new teams adding a whole nother level of excitement. And like I said, when I was at the game on Wednesday, it definitely felt like we were at the dawn of an era. I guess I was excited. I'm a little bit in my own head, and I thought there was going to be a lot more excitement there was plenty at the game. There was plenty of, Northern Guard supporters, but the neutrals and the families, not a lot of juice there. So I was thinking about it. I thought there was going to be a little bit more, but foundational periods here for these emerging teams and a great opportunity to really lay those foundational moments. I guess that's what I was thinking of. There was a lot of foundational moments for these USL League One teams, these new teams, and Rhode Island taking on New England. That'll be one to put in the memory banks for that. young club. So that is the round of 32.
Yep.
Major League Soccer entering the chat for U.S. Open Cup games to be played on the 6th and 7th of May.